truth is, someone will break your trust, or you will experience something that does not align with your values, with your soul, and it will shatter you. But the real question is, how do you reduce the impact and the severity of that situation? In this episode, I was asked to talk about building trust again. And this is a big topic because we are constantly dealing with disappointment, whether it is from other people or from ourselves. Welcome back to the Enrich Podcast. This is your virtual bestie, Simran Attili. And we're here with another episode that will be a game changer for your energy and perspective on life. This year, I told myself that I'm going to be the best and most authentic version of myself and prove it to myself. Not other people, but to myself. Did I do that? Keeping promises to myself. Every time my old self showed up, I had to remind myself of the person I look up to. My highest self, who is always guiding me towards who I truly want to be, not for others, but for myself first. For instance, when I talk about keeping promises to myself, just like this YouTube page, this YouTube channel when I started with 0 subscribers. And even though I started about a year ago and I posted 1 video per month, it's consistent for about a year before I started posting videos every week. And now I'm seeing my account grow. And from 0 subscribers, it went to 2 subscribers and 10 subscribers and then 15. But if I stop right there thinking, oh my God, I only have 10 subscribers or no subscribers at all, I wouldn't be at almost 100 subscribers today. I know it might not be a big freaking deal, but it is a big deal for me, as if you are a content creator or you are witnessing someone very close to you who is creating content and providing value to the world, you will know how much energy and time it takes for someone to put in the work, come up with ideas, write down things and produce and also be consistent. So I am being consistent for myself, of course, but also for my audience. And, I'm celebrating loud when I hit 100 subscribers and I'm only 1 subscriber away. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And I cannot wait to celebrate myself when I reach 100 subscribers and 500 subscribers and then 1,000 and then so on and so forth. I'm super amped. And it all comes down to consistency. Imagine I gave up when I started to consistently post every week and I wasn't really seeing many results. But you know what? It took 1 video to go viral and, that gave me 30 subscribers all at once and then so on and so forth. Now I'm just building my subscriber list slowly. And this all comes down to keeping promises to myself that every week, doesn't matter what my week looks like, I am creating content and I am going to show up for myself and for you because I am aligned with my truth. I'm aligned with my values. I'm aligned with the promises that I told myself I'm going to keep. So I'm very proud that, we have arrived to the point where I am producing weekly content for you. And this was just an example for me that might be relatable or might, make you think about a situation in your life where you were consistently showing up for yourself, which also build trust and confidence within you. And, with this consistent effort, I also found that I boost my confidence again, right? And it starts with one question, actually, that it all comes down to is, do I even like myself? When you like someone, what do you really admire about them? It's the way they show up, right? It's the way they present themselves and the way they keep promises and commitments, right? I've always been that person where words are very important to me. Of course, actions are important, but it all starts with words. We believe other people through words. We listen to conversations. So words are really important. Thoughts are reality that become your reality. So it's very, very important to really be mindful of your thoughts. And but let's jump right back into the topic again, which is all about building trust again, whether it is with yourself and with other people. When I think about someone that I admire, I often ask myself, what are some qualities I like about them? And the most important question is, who do I admire and what qualities I like about them? Who inspires me and how do they carry themselves? So this is very important. And all the qualities that you're really looking into other people, do you even have those qualities? And if you don't, are you working on yourself every single day to refine those skills, to tune in and to also allow yourself to become that person that you're meant to be? Probably wondering, Simran, we're talking about rebuilding trust, but so why are we talking about all of this? Here's the truth. We attract what we are, what we accept, and what we allow in our lives. Sometimes we face challenges and obstacles to help shape us into the person that we're meant to become in this lifetime. Remember, our lives are always moving towards our most dominant thoughts. So, what are we thinking about most of the time? You need to become aware of that. How are we showing up? Let's jump right into segment number one, which is reflecting on broken trust and shifting your focus. Trust can be shattered in many ways. And the pain of that is something we all know how it feels, right? But here's one thing. If someone breaks our trust, or it is a partner, a friend, or even ourselves, we have two choices. We can either stay stuck in the betrayal and hurt, or we can choose to transform that energy into something that empowers us. I want you to think of trust like an antenna. Okay. If you're broadcasting insecurity or mistrust all the time out in the universe, that is what you will attract. You're going to be attracting similar situations. Universe really loves you. It wants you to receive everything that you're putting out. So it does not know between good and bad. It's whatever you're putting out in the universe, you're going to receive of that. So if you are carrying shame, if you're feeling guilty, if you are putting out thoughts that are not aligned with what you want to be, there is a misalignment, of course, but you're going to receive that because you are sending signals to the universe saying, this is what I want to see, basically, right? Frequencies and vibrations is a language of the universe. So similarly, if you are tuned into confidence, security, honesty, and clarity, you will start to see more of that and attract it to you. I'm sure you've heard of the red car theory. For example, let's say you want to purchase a red car. When you make that decision, you're going to start noticing red cars everywhere on the road. It wasn't that the red cars did not exist or they were not there before. Because of the attention and energy that you're giving to them, it will be seen everywhere. Often explains the phenomenon of selective attention, where what it means is once you become aware of something, you tend to notice it everywhere or more frequently. So, for instance, like we experience life a lot, right? Of course we do. So, all the betrayals, disappointments, they're not random either, right? They're sometimes here to teach you. It's not the universe is trying to punish you or, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is not here to punish you. It is here to teach us and become and shape us into the person that we desire to be. In the moments of disappointment, what is so important to ask ourselves is, what energy am I bringing into my relationships? This is where you take 100% ownership and accountability. And another thing that I think is so important to ask is, what are my dominant thoughts about myself, other people, and life overall? And the reason why I ask you this question, because if you're really focused on who has hurt you, you will keep attracting the same hurt. But if you shift your focus to the people who really honor and respect you, you're going to see more of that, who stand by their word, who respect you. So what happens, you will start to see more of that because you shifted your focus from who's hurting you to who's actually showing up for you. Like really tuning in and changing the channel on TV, right? You were on a different channel. You were watching a show that consisted of all the people that were hurting you. Now you switch the focus in the channel to people who are always there for you. They're always, happy for you. It's very important that you choose to tune into the energy of integrity, and the life, I promise, will reflect back to you. Say you think every single person out there is there to get you, right? Because of few betrayals that happened to you. You need to, every time you experience that thought, you need to bring your attention back in and remind yourself of the people who have showed up for you, the people who kept their word to you, people who took care of you, and you never felt the energy from them. Your body is very intelligent. It picks up signals before your mind even picks it up, or it starts to kind of look at the patterns. Now, let's get into segment number 2, which is building the most important and trusting relationship, which is with ourselves. Let's talk about what it means to build trust with yourself. Because before you can truly trust anyone else, you have to be able to trust yourself. And that means keeping promises to yourself. Every small commitment you make, every time you say you're going to do something and follow through, that is trust building. For example, let's say every time you complain about not feeling good with your body and you tell yourself you will start eating healthy, you're going to move your body. And when it comes to the point when you have to make the decision to cook, or when you go out and make the decision that is opposite of what you said you will do, it shatters your confidence and it shatters your trust with yourself. It comes in identity because you tell yourself you're not enough to eat healthy. You're not worthy of eating healthy because you have broken way too many promises with yourself. Every time you break your promises to yourself, it creates a crack. It's a crack and signal that says, I don't value my own word. What you have to do is start by little things, right? All you have to do is say you're going to go for a walk and do it. This is how you start building trust. These actions may seem so small, but they are profound. They're the foundation of the relationship you are building with yourself. Over time, they will become the bedrock of your confidence and self-respect. Most of you guys who have been following me since day one know that I started this podcast 4 years ago, which is beautiful. But throughout this process, I dealt with so many obstacles and hurdles. I had a passing away in the family. I had losing of jobs and relationships and life stuff, family stuff, you name it. And I felt like every time I told myself I'm going to do something, I would stay consistent. I would be doing so great, build that momentum, and boom, I would get hit and my emotional blocks would come up. And I would fall apart and I wouldn't be able to keep up with the commitments I made. When I restarted again and started to consistently show up for myself, I started small. Instead of saying that I'm going to be posting every week, I started with once a month and then I started bi-weekly and now I do it weekly. So it was just me building the momentum again, bringing myself back into the state where I know that I can do it and I'm simplifying the process. I'm not overwhelming myself and my system. And I've built systems over time and I'm going to continue to build systems as well. You can also even ask yourself, what do I need to do each day to feel proud of who I am? What promises that I can make today that will help me build rock solid relationship with myself? Segment number 3, we're going to be talking about how to trust others again. And I know rebuilding trust with others is one of the hardest parts of the journey, especially if the trust has been broken in the past. Someone breaks our trust. It feels very personal. But here's the shift. Trusting others does not mean you ignore your boundaries. Boundaries are very important. I learned it the hard way. And it really means that you approach your relationships with clarity, knowing that what you will allow and you will not accept, and communicate that very clearly. And when you begin, right, forming these boundaries or relationships with other people, just know that everyone is going to make mistakes. And making mistakes is part of the journey. I'm sure you make mistakes. I may make mistakes all the time, but it does not define the person. Instead, what you need to do is look for patterns. Okay. Patterns are important. If you've communicated, you know what bothers you, you've set the boundaries, but they keep doing it again and again. And you just have to accept the situation and that relationship that you have. To understand that consistency over time is a true indicator of trustworthiness. Let's say if someone broke your trust and you're open to letting someone in, pay attention to whether their actions align with their words. Are they putting in the effort, right, to rebuild trust with you? Are they communicating properly? Are they passive aggressive? Or are they just, just want to keep the relationship for the heck of it, but they don't really want to work on the relationship. They don't really care about making healthy choices in their life, right? And you cannot always be carrying the burden of that, right? I want you to know when you're rebuilding trust, you need to understand that you don't need to rush the process, right? Trust is like a bank account. It builds little by little. Sometimes it does take time. So when you open yourself up again and you start trusting others, keep checking in with your intuition and your needs. Segment number 4, we're going to be talking about the truth reset, how to build trust again. You have to, first of all, acknowledge the pain and be honest. When you accept your situation, you accept what has happened, there's no resistance. You accept it and you tell yourself, okay, this has happened, sit with it, feel all the feelings, allow the feelings to come through. The more you suppress it, shove it down, it's going to show up in the most unhealthiest ways. Number 2 that you can do is reflect on the experience. You could ask yourself questions to gain clarity. What really broke the trust? Why did it hurt so much? Now, the best thing you can ever do, take a step back and observe the relationship. The next thing you can do, identify your boundaries and expectations. So important, what you need to do is feel safe and secure in these relationships. You need to define boundaries that reflect your values and your needs. Be open about your boundaries and expectations. And the other person, if the person is also willing to work on the relationship, they will respect your boundaries. And, you have to, of course, respect their boundaries as well. Number 4, start with small and consistent actions. Trust is rebuilt through actions, not just words. If you are rebuilding trust, start by setting small, realistic promises to yourself and keep them. This could be as simple as getting up at a set time or making time for self-care that you told yourself you're going to do every night before bed. Number 5, very important thing to do is forgive and release resentment. But forgiveness doesn't really mean that you forgot what has happened to you. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Few more things. Be patient and compassionate with the process. It's so important because rebuilding trust takes time and consistency. So be consistent with yourself. Make sure the next step is to focus on your dominant thoughts. It's so important because our thoughts shape our reality. It's so important to cultivate a mindset of trustworthiness, positivity, and resiliency. The step is evaluating the growth and letting go if it's important. After you put in the effort and you assess whether it's been restored to the level where it is healthy and secure and supportive, have made the effort, and you don't see it progressing, you have all the right to consider moving on and stepping away from relationships. Walking away does not always mean it's a failure. Sometimes this is a lesson in learning when to let go and protect your own well-being. And last segment, which is supporting yourself on this journey. On this path of building your trust again with yourself and with other people, just remember you have to be your biggest supporter, right? Sometimes it is so easy to feel overwhelmed, and especially if you're recovering from a major betrayal. So important to really identify what makes you feel happy and secure and safe, right? Do not fall into the trap of coping with it in the most unhealthy ways. Very important that you take a time to reflect on certain situations that have impacted you, and you're able to move on faster and make a decision of what you should be allowing in your life or not. And one major thing actually I will mention is it's so important that you celebrate small wins. And what I mean by that is every time you honor your boundary, keep promises to yourself, or communicate your needs, celebrate it. That is it, my friends. I hope you found this episode helpful. And thank you so much for always tuning in, for supporting me, and sharing this episode with someone that you truly care about. Just a reminder, make sure to subscribe to my channel, share this episode, like and comment below, and keep showing up every week right here. Like always, I'm sending you so much love and positive vibes. Take care.